So we're gonna try this. I am driving, so I'll keep my eyes on the road so it'll all be safe. But I really want to talk about staying power, and I was going to do a podcast, but honestly, I just wanted to do this video for you. And so I don't know about you, but I've often heard it called shiny object syndrome, where you're just distracted by all these things, and sometimes it's so hard to stay with what you're doing. It's easy to start, and then you get started, but then it's hard to stay with it. And so I really want to talk about staying power. Like so often you start, and then it's like it gets so hard, and you get so tired, and you get so exhausted, and so then you start something else, and then you think, okay, well, maybe I have this, but you know what? Every workout, like if you think about like the workouts and the diets and stuff, if you just stuck with it, it'd work. But that's not often what happens, right? What often happens is you start something, and then you're like, okay, well, I give up. And then you start again, and you give up. And you start again. And honestly, sometimes we just need to stay with the process, stay with the thing that we're doing, right? And I've started this thing, and it means a lot to me. And over and over and over again, it's like this thing that I just can't give up. It's this thing that I can't get out of. And it's this voice that I am working on a business, right? And I'm working, and you keep working at it. And eventually it will work, right? If you stay at it and you keep working at it and you stick to it. And so I've actually started a program called 2 Comma Club, and it's 2 Comma Club X is actually what it is. And if you see a number and you see 2 comma clubs or 2 commas in the number, that is actually $1 million. And it was not it was not cheap to join, right? Like it was a huge investment. Some people have paid up to $100,000 to be in this group, and this group was actually $25,000 to be in it, and it's a lot of work. Like the first, I don't know, like I've got a full binder. Probably we're on our 3rd week, and I literally have this much paper in homework, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, and it's uncomfortable, and it's stuff that I hate doing, and stuff that I don't want to do, and honestly, you might be doing exactly what you're purposed for. You might be doing exactly what you're passionate about, but the thing is we always have this sticking point, something in it that we don't like to do. And I'm kind of at the research part of homework, and maybe that's why I have never been successful at business, because I've never really looked at, okay, well, who's my competitors? Who's the people being successful? What are they doing? And I've never looked at things like, okay, let's put together my dream 100, like the people that I would love to be able to have on my podcast, that I can partner with, and that I can create a relationship with. I've never, I've read about it, and I'm like, I'm not doing interviews, right? And there's those things that I've stuck my feet in the ground, and that I have not wanted to do. And so this program is walking me through all of these different steps of like getting a logo, getting, and like, I don't know about you, but entrepreneurs, we tend to try to do it all ourselves. And honestly, if we were to try to do all of it ourselves, it'll take us 7 years. Or more, right? Like, okay, we've got to learn copy. Okay, now we got to figure out what to put on our page. Okay, now we got to, figure out how to build a page. And now we got to learn, how are we going to do graphics and like all of these little things. And then we try to get them together, and it takes forever. And that's why most businesses fail, is because we don't ask for help. And so I firmly believe in coaching, because I am exhausted and tired of doing it all myself. And it's like, okay, I've got to figure out how to make this work. Somehow I've got to make this work. And honestly, going to the next shiny object is not going to help me. And I can avoid these things all I want, but that's not going to help me. And so what I'm kind of talking to you today, like coronavirus, has completely changed the world we live in. And home parties don't work right now. What else? Home parties or hotel meetings, like we can't do that anymore. But I don't know about you, but I hate going on the phone. And so what do you do? So I've been excited about this process that works, that I've really discovered that works, and the system that works. But how do I get it to the world? And how do I, blow it up and make it bigger? And so that's what this is about. And so it's looking past to of all of this work, of all of this stuff that might be standing in the way, and doing it anyway, making your skin crawl and being scared, but doing it anyway. And yeah, it's overwhelming. And sometimes you get into these courses and it's like, oh my goodness, it's overwhelming. How am I going to get it all done? And it's like one bite at a time, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And you do one thing and then you do the next, and you might hate doing it, but you do it anyway, because it's the bigger purpose. It's the bigger reason why. And so I wrote a couple things down. Sometimes it gets hard, right? Sometimes it's hard and you don't want to stick through it, but you do it anyway, and you stay with it, and you keep at it, and you keep going. It's not what storm you go through. It's like everybody does not end up at the same place when you go through a storm, right? I remember this one quote, and I believe it's from Stephen Covey, and he said, between an action and a reaction, there's a gap. And some of these storms we could have avoided, right? You look at Jonah and the whale, right? In the Bible story, where Jonah did not want to do what he was told to do, and he had to get swallowed up by a whale before he would actually go and do what he was called to do, right? So what is it going to take for you to do what you need to do to get your business up and going and make it successful? What has to happen in your life before you feel like you have to make it happen, and you have to make it work? And is there a way to shortcut your process? I really would rather, there's this quote, and I'm going to butcher it because I don't have it in front of me and I don't have it memorized, but the entrepreneurs, like the people who first figured out the system, what works, has arrows in their back, right? Because they failed and they failed, right? Like Thomas Edison, he didn't, he discovered the light bulb, but he failed 1,000 times before he actually discovered the light bulb. So what is it going to take for you to get your light bulb made and created? How many times are you going to have to fail? Well, I don't know about you, but I'd rather learn from other people who have failed, the people who have the arrows in their backs, to speed up that process. And so I'm like, you know what? It's either time or money. So I'll pay the money and somehow work and somehow figure out how to get the money, because I don't feel like I have the money, right? Like, but how are you going to make it work? How are you going to, like, I really had to step out into faith to say, okay, God, like, I don't know what you believe, but I had to step out in faith and say, okay, God, this is what I really feel like my next step is, and I have no idea how I'm going to get the money for this. And it is scary. I completely, like, what you are called to do is not going to be easy. And if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But it's going to be work. And it's going to go through a storm, and that storm teaches you things that you'd never be able to learn otherwise, but you had to go through them to be where you are. And if you look in your past, you know, those storms shape you, who you are. And so they are so important to your next journey. It's not, you know, like, so when you're going through the storm, everybody's not going to end up at the same place. How are you going to react? And it's who you listen to. And there's a saying, the 5 people, how does it go? You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. So who is it that you're going to listen to? Is it going to be the, I'm not good enough, I can't do this voice? Or is it going to be the, let's charge, and you know what, I might be scared, but let's do it anyway. And so where are you going to end up is depending on who you're going to listen to. You cannot control. There's things you cannot control, but there are things that you can control. So you can control your actions. You can control, you know, you might not be able to control the storm, but you can control how you act through the storm. And sometimes it'll cut that storm shorter. 1 second, I will be right back. Hi there. Okay, sorry. I had to go through security. I'm on my way to work, and so we have to stop and go through security before I can come to work. So, I'm just watching my speedometer. Okay, anyway, so I really hope that helped you, because sometimes we just need to be told to stay, and to do it, and to muscle through and go, and sometimes the storm is scary, but sometimes you're never going to get to the other side of where you want to be if you don't go through the storm. And you know, jumping from one opportunity to the next, which I think is very hard as entrepreneurs, is to focus on the one thing, and to finish it, because there's a lot of ways to get to where you're going, but there's a hard way and there's an easy way, and so I really hope that helped you. I really hope that you will, you know, that sometimes you can feel overwhelmed, but it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's not a bad thing. That just means that you're learning, and that means that sometimes the pressure is good and important. And so I hope that I can just help you get to that place. And I can speak into your life and encourage you, because you and I both know there's always people that want to discourage you, right? It's easy to find reasons not to do something, but sometimes it's challenging to convince you to keep going, and so that's all for today. I'm just about to go on a really bumpy road, and it switches to gravel here, so I will talk to you again soon, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks. If you'd like, I do have extra training that I'm making special for you, because it's when you believe in what you do, you want to get it out to the world, and it's your obligation. And so click the link below, or click the link above. It'll be above the video, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.